The Pentagon is not giving up on air-launched rapid response weapons, or ARRW, yet. In testimony before the House Armed Services Committee, U.S. Air Force Secretary Frank Kendall said the service was waiting on the conclusion of all up-round tests for the hypersonic air-launched rapid response weapon before officials make a procurement decision. This comes approximately a month following the testimony of Acquisition Chief Andrew Hunter, wherein he appeared to convey to lawmakers in written testimony that the service had no intentions of purchasing it after the prototyping phase concludes. This is an interesting development. In this video, Defense Updates analyzes why ARRW is still in the reckoning for serial production. Let's get started. Before we proceed, a word on NordVPN, which is one of the most trusted VPN brands worldwide that has a no-log policy validated by Deloitte, an industry-leading Big Four auditing firm. NordVPN provides an encrypted tunnel that protects your privacy by preventing external entry to your internet traffic, as well as enabling you to access content that's blocked based on geolocation. Best of all, with one NordVPN account, you can secure up to 6 devices at the same time. Get an exclusive NordVPN deal with massive savings by going to nordvpn.com/defense or clicking the link in the description. It's risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. Kendall, in his latest statement, said, "We haven't stopped on ARRW. We still have funds to complete the test program, and we'll reserve judgment until we see how that does, and we'll look at our priorities going forward." This seems at odds with what was indicated earlier. When the test failed in March, Kendall confirmed that the test involving the ARRW was not a success. Kendall also told lawmakers the service was more committed to the HACM, or Hypersonic Attack Cruise Missile, than ARRW, and that the ARRW's future is in doubt, with a decision on whether to continue with the program likely to come as part of the fiscal 2025 budget process. This gave rise to speculations that the service would focus solely on HACM, the other hypersonic program in the USAF arsenal. While ARRW is made by Lockheed Martin, HACM is being developed by Raytheon and Northrop Grumman. Comments from Chief of Air Force Acquisition Andrew Hunter also seem to indicate an end of the road for ARRW. He had testified before Congress earlier this year that the service had opted not to procure the AGM-183A beyond its prototyping phase. These developments were viewed as a setback for ARRW and the U.S. Hypersonic Weapon Initiative as a whole. However, as per a spokesperson from the U.S. Air Force, Hunter's remarks specifically pertained to the fiscal 2024 budget proposal, which did not seek funding for hypersonic procurement, but instead requested funds for the completion of the 2 remaining ARRW tests. The spokesperson further clarified that the ARRW production decision remains event-driven and will occur after operational utility is demonstrated through successful all-up-round tests and a system production readiness review. Additionally, the Air Force will need to look at our weapons mix, and we'll see if ARRW falls within the requirements. The AGM-183A ARRW is a long-range hypersonic missile. The missile was designed to enhance the U.S. Air Force hypersonic strike capacity, enabling it to engage heavy fortified, high-priority targets like enemy military installations and surface warships from standoff distances. Hypersonic weapons travel at speeds greater than Mach 5 or more than 3,836 miles per hour and are highly maneuverable, which makes them difficult to track and shoot down. The extreme speed of hypersonic weapons and the ability to fly in unpredictable paths give them a much higher probability of penetrating modern air defenses. Essentially, hypersonic weapons combine the speed of ballistic missiles with the maneuverability of cruise missiles. This type of weapon will be very hard to track, let alone intercept. The AGM-183 comprises a rocket booster and an unpowered hypersonic boost glide vehicle housed within the missile's nose cone. The booster propels the boost glide vehicle to the desired speed and altitude, where it is then separated from the rest of the weapon and then glides to the target, attaining hypersonic speed. ARRW is a weapon that can be launched from standoff distances without getting inside the engagement envelope of enemy air defenses. In 2017, Lockheed Martin won the contract to begin ARRW development. The company had stated it wanted to meet the desired production targets within 3 years, but the program got delayed due to technical challenges. While several tests were carried out, issues kept creeping up. The ARRW program was designed as a rapid prototyping initiative aimed at swiftly creating vehicles for testing and showcasing an ability to produce the system at scale quickly. The agreement stipulated the creation of leave-behind assets that could be utilized in operational scenarios or for additional tests following the completion of the initial development. The U.S. Air Force has not revealed the quantity of arrows intended for production or the number reserved for subsequent testing. Russia has already fielded Avangard and Kinzhal, whereas China has developed DF-ZF and YJ-21. So the near-peer rivals have managed to develop different types of hypersonic weapons. Kinzhal has actually been used in the Ukraine-Russia conflict. For some time, the American military was indecisive when it came to developing and deploying hypersonic weapons. This led to the U.S. military lagging in this technology. However, there is now a unanimous agreement, emphasized by U.S. Department of Defense officials, that hypersonic weapons have become a national imperative. ARRW and HACM initiatives are at the forefront of the American hypersonic drive. ARRW and HACM are different types of weapons, the latter being a cruise missile, not a glider. Kendall reiterated in this latest statement that HACM, we think, offers the most potential to us at this point, which he previously explained can integrate with a greater number of platforms. While HACM has the advantage in platform integration, ARRW could be more maneuverable and have a strike envelope of 1,600 kilometers or 1,000 miles compared to 1,000 kilometers or 621 miles for HACM. So ideally, U.S. Air Force would like to have the ARRW in its arsenal. It remains to be seen how things pan out in the coming days.
Subscribe for more videos like this. Hit the like button if you find the video interesting, and kindly provide your feedback in the comment section. This will help us improve.